been really interesting talking to a lot of these people is the extent to which so many of them cite failure and defeat as their greatest teacher and guide. The only person in the book who didn't subscribe to that at all was Floyd Mayweather, the boxer.
He doesn't know what it's like.
Well, he's never lost a pro fight. And he actually did say, and I don't know whether he was telling the truth or not, but I think he was, but he said he never ever considers the possibility of defeat. Whatever the rights and wrongs on the policy, whatever the rights and wrongs on Iraq, in relation to what we were accused of doing on that dossier, which, as you say, led to David Kelly's death, it was not 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And I don't see why I should say that I think it is when I don't believe that at all. Lance Armstrong, who I interviewed some time ago, and he did agree to do an interview for the book, and actually I was meant to be seeing him this week, but he got involved in a difficulty with his car that has meant he's got a court case. But he said that when I first interviewed him, I've interviewed him twice now, and he said this amazing quote, which I was so, perhaps this is the winning thing, blinding me to what I should have seen. I said to him, what was worse, the feeling that you might die when you had cancer, or the feeling that you might lose to Jan Ullrich in the tour, which he was about to take part in? And I should have laughed. He looked at me, he just said, losing and dying, it's the same thing.
Crush Shell is the wrong way to describe it, but to compete with Shell and to win, and the other people in the industry, absolutely. The world's never really run out of oil or gas, come to think about it. And it's not running out of energy, which is another, there are more forms of energy than oil and gas. So people are innovating in order to expand the pie as well as competing for existing piece of the pie.
It was quite easy for me to go to these people and say, John, I'm writing a book about hyper-achieving great winners in the world. I'd like you to be in this book along with Mayweather and Maradona and Mourinho and all these others. I think to say, I'm writing a book about losers. I think your interview pool will narrow quite. But I do think that what comes through this one is this thing about learning from defeat. I say to people in, whether it's in business or in politics, and anybody in positions of leadership, you can no longer do what we did as control freaks back in the mid-90s because it's gone. That world has gone. You can only control now what you do and what you say about it, and just let the rest take care of it. I love the fact that every time I see anybody from the Daily Mail, I say, thank you so much for all the shit you've written about me down the years, because I now get paid lots of money to travel around the world advising people about how to have a good reputation in the face of a horrible media.
If your 8 or 12 years of an Olympic training cycle is for one specific race or one specific event, you've got to be able to selfishly focus on that event, irrespective of anything else that's going on in the world or in your life. So we try and help people with that. We've learned that the body and mind are a team. Even sitting up here, you know, my body and mind are a team. I need to be focused on what I'm doing. I have to be aware of my breathing rate and everything like that. And any way of getting the body and mind to work effectively as a team will help you to win at whatever you choose to win at.
Sport, which is predominantly physical, is now a given that you have proper professional psychological support. Politics and business, where it's probably needed more.
Yeah, doesn't happen.
Oh no, we don't have that. Martin Luther King, according to NASA, his bipolar disorder meant that the depression side of it gave him real empathy and understanding with people and why they felt so bad about their lives. The mania gave him the energy, the charisma, the ability to hold difficult people together. So it's, if you like, putting a more positive gloss on mental abnormality. I think these people who are doing very, very special things like winning Olympic gold medals, the reason why they're winning gold medals, the reason why Wales are winning the Grand Slam when they, you know, are competing against bigger countries with bigger pools of players and the rest of it, is because they're not normal. They're special. They're doing special things. We spend so much time seeing mental illness as like a terrible thing, but actually we look at some of the great figures in history, Churchill, Lincoln, Darwin, to name but three, and that's why I put them in the film, is that there's a positive side to that as well.